What's poppin', Poke people? It's your boy Pokeperk, and today we're gonna go over the Pokemon Twilight Masquerade pre-release kits before you go to your pre-release tournament and you happen to get this Infernape deck, right? I'll show you some little strategies, how I use the deck, what cards are in the deck, the 40 card deck, obviously, and what I did after I opened up my packs and saw what I had. These are what I pulled from the loose packs inside the deck box. I got the Sinistra EX, I got the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, and I got the Torkoal Illustration Rare. Now, I did not use those, but I did substitute 4 cards. So, this little trainer tip is actually pretty cool, right? So, the Infernape is both an attacker and a support Pokemon who can accelerate basic fire and fighting energy onto your Pokemon with the Pyro Dance ability. Very cool. So not even just your attach an energy per turn, you can also attach 2 more from his ability. Use a variety of attackers like Chi-Yu, Okidogi, and Infernape itself to take huge knockouts. Like the hits in the pre-release, it doesn't take much. Since Luminous Energy isn't a basic energy, you can't use Pyro Dance to attach it. But Luminous Energy attached to Okidogi will stimulate its attack cost while simultaneously activating its Adrena Power ability. Crazy, because it acts as every energy but one energy at a time. So it'll act as a dark energy. I'll explain it when we get to that card. Florges is comfortable being either a frontline attacker or a support Pokemon. Its captivating invitation ability helps your other Pokemon take key knockouts on your opponent's weaker Pokemon, such as Grookey, Chimchar, or Snorunt. And I'll show you a Snorunt Froslass counter as well for the pre-release. Pheasantipity also makes an appearance as an excellent aggressive attacker. Its Adrena Pheromone ability provides staying power, as it could potentially nullify your opponent's attacks. Agreed. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, right? So here's what the pre-release kits look like. They come with 4 packs on the inside, a trainer tip sheet, 1 unique foil with a stamp, a code card. You know, it's very cool. So in this deck, you'll get an Infernape, right, with the stamp. This is the one that I pulled for this pre-release. I went to a couple. Excuse me, I got the burps. So here you see the Twilight Masquerade stamp. Very sick. Pyro Dance. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic fire energy card, a basic fighting energy card, or one of each from your hand to a Pokemon in any way you like. You can't do 2 fire, 2 fighting. It has to be one of each or just one. Super cool, because that means you can attach 3 energies per turn with Infernape, and he doesn't even have to be in your active spot. Attack, Scorching Fire. Discard an energy from this Pokemon, but it does 200 damage. Not many Pokemon in the set, in the pre-release decks, do that amount of damage. So you get 1, 2 Infernape, Monferno, 90 HP, Chop, 40 damage. Very good against the Thwacky deck. Heat Blow, 80 damage. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. I actually won a whole match with just Monferno. So you get 2 of those. Then we got Chimchar, Fire Breathing, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. Very good. Very good. Then here's the Okidogi, right? So, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached, it gets 100 plus HP, and the attacks it uses do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So, its good punch takes 2 fighting energy, but the luminous energy, whenever you attach it, it becomes any energy you want it to be, right? So it's automatically the dark energy to power up its Adrena power ability. And then when you attach a fighting energy to it, when it attacks, it acts as the fighting energy. So therefore, it stimulates the ability and acts as the second fighting energy you need to use its attack, dealing out 170 damage. Powerhouse. Plus, it ends up with 230 HP. That Pokemon is crazy. And I'll show you that whenever we get to it. And then we got the Pheasantipity, also needing the luminous energy with the Adrena pheromone. If this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it and is damaged by an attack, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. Also, the luminous energy acts as that dark energy, but also as the psychic energy for its attack. Energy Feather, 30 times. This attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So, while Infernape can attach the fire in the fighting, if you don't want to use him as the attacker and you want him to just be stabilized on your bench, you could put 3 energy per turn on Pheasantipity and just keep powering up its attack while simultaneously using that luminous energy as the dark. So that's 4 energy you can do off the bat. Then we got Tatsugiri. I did substitute this because I'm not a fan, right? So Tatsugiri, attract customers. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter card you find there, and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So while that's good, it has to be in the active spot. It only has 70 HP. It takes 2 energy, separate energy, to use its attack. So you'd have to use a luminous energy and one of the fighting energy in the deck. And it's not very bueno to me. So I took that card out. Okay, then we have Flabebe, Bind Wound. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. And Fairy Wind, 10 damage. You get 1 and you get 2. And now Floette is how you can get the energies into your hand real fast for the Infernape, right? 70 HP. Minor Errand Running. It takes any energy. Search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Spinning Attack, 40. So there's your 3 energy you want to attach for your next turn. So there's 1 and there's 2, but I took the second one out because we have Rare Candy. And then we have Florges. Now Florges, Captivating Invitation. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, and the new active Pokemon is now confused. So that being said, you can use this ability while Florges is on the bench and you have one of your attackers out, right? And if you get that heads, that new active Pokemon's confused. But if you have a crazy attacker like Infernape that does 200 damage, doesn't matter if it's confused, you're going to knock him out. Then Magical Shot, which only takes 2 energy, 120 damage. Powerful one of pre-release. And you get 1, 2, and I did not take those out. Youngster, your supporter card. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 5 cards. While this is very, very useful if you draw a sucky hand, I did take this card out. So that's 3 cards that I took out so far, and you'll see why. It's for a counter. And then we have Caretaker. Draw 2 cards. If you drew cards in this way, and if your community center is in play, shuffle this Caretaker into your deck instead of discarding it. Now, good card, but also I took it out. So that's 4 cards that I've taken out, right? And then Community Center. This is a stadium card that I also took out. Once during each player's turn, if they played a supporter card from their hand, this turn they may heal 10 damage from each of their Pokemon. While that's okay, it's decent, and it would help Chi-Yu if I had Chi-Yu in this deck because it does an extra damage. I did take that out. So that's 5 cards that I took out, and I'll show you what they are. So, Nemona, draw 3 cards. Banger. That's a banger. You don't want to take that out. Great Ball. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Beautiful if your hand is not what you want it to be and you're looking for that certain card and you're not certain you're going to draw it. Beautiful. And now remember, you can play as many item cards as you want per turn, but only 1 supporter card per turn. Perrin. Reveal up to 2 Pokemon in your hand and put them into your deck. If you do, search your deck for up to that many Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This helped me out in all of my matches. So say I got 2, I already have my Infernape out. So I already have my Infernape out, and I have 2 Monfernos in my hand, right? I can put the Monfernos back into my deck, and I can search for whatever 2 Pokemon that I want and put them back into my hand. Now, if those Pokemon happen to be my prize cards, then I'll put the Monferno back in. Oh well, it is what it is. But also in a pre-release, you only do 4 prize cards, not 6, and it's only a 40 card deck. But I kept Perrin. Nest Ball, obviously, I'm going to keep for my basic Pokemon, right? Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Obviously, you want to draw this in the beginning of the game because it's very, very beneficial so you don't get wiped out instantly. Rescue Board, super beneficial for Monferno and Infernape. The retreat cost of this Pokemon the card is attached to is 1 colorless energy less. If that Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. Beautiful, beautiful card. Rare Candy, obviously it is what it is. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping the stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn, meaning if it's your turn and the game just started and you went first, you can't use it. If you just put that basic Pokemon out, you can't use it until your next turn. Then you have 1, 2 fighting energy. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 psychic. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fire energy. And then the 2 luminous energy that you can use for Pheasantipity and Okie Dokie. Now, the 5 cards that I did take out to substitute, I substituted for the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX. So, Cornerstone Stance. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So, during the pre-release, that's about every Pokemon. Just about. It's a beautiful, beautiful card to use. Demolish. 1 fighting and 2 whatever. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Beautiful card to have in your deck. Any deck, not just pre-release. Right, so I added that. Hisuian Growlithe. Now this is the Froslass Snorunt counter. Right, so 80 HP. Blazing Destruction. Discard a stadium in play. Takedown. This Pokemon does 10 damage to itself, but it does 40. But I use it because it's no energy. And then I substituted in for the Arcanine, also no energy attack. If your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 90 more damage. So that's 120 damage. Froslass that you're going to encounter in the pre-release. Every Pokemon checkup, it adds 10 damage to each Pokemon that has an ability. So if you have Okie Dokie, Pheasantipity, Monferno, any Pokemon that has an ability, it gets 10 damage. So this effect, it'll make it this attack do 120 without any energy at all. Froslass counter, beautiful. I added a fighting energy and I added a dark energy so I can have energy to power up all these Pokemon. So that is a way that I did my deck. Now let me explain how you would play. Okay, so to play in the Pokemon pre-release, obviously, you know, give your cards a good shuffle because you don't want a mulligan. A mulligan is whenever you draw your cards and you have no basic Pokemon to put out into play before your first turn, meaning your opponent can take an extra card into their hand from their deck per mulligan, which can be beneficial for them. So on my second match yesterday, my opponent had to take 5 mulligans. I obviously only took 2 extra cards because I didn't want to run out of cards. But that's just how it is. So to start your play, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And before you put your deck into its place, you're going to look at your hand and see if you have any basic Pokemon, which I do not. So that is called a mulligan, right? So then you'll put your cards back. Your opponent gets to draw an extra card, and you give it another shuffle. And you keep doing this until you have a basic Pokemon to put on your bench. Obviously, you show your opponent your hand so they know that you actually did mulligan and you're not trying to cheat because you didn't like your hand, right? So then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you look at your hand again. Okay, and I got a basic. So you put your basic down. You do your 4 prize cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got your 4 prize cards, and you got your deck over there. Okay, so now say you want to, so to draw a prize card, obviously you have to be able to attack. And I'm just going to do this for basic. You put your energy, right? You attack, you knock out your opponent's Pokemon, you take a prize card. Easy, very, very simple. The game ends when you take all 4 prize cards in a pre-release. In a regular deck, there'd be 60 cards, and there would be 6 prize cards. The game ends when you take all 4 prize cards, or you attack, knock out your opponent's Pokemon, and your opponent has no Pokemon on their bench. Guys, listen. I hope this video has been beneficial for you. I hope that you can use it in your pre-release. Remember to substitute something for the Growlithe and the Arcanine, especially in this pre-release format. I need you guys to go ahead and hit that like, drop a comment down below, tell me if this was useful or not, and subscribe to the channel with notifications. Also, check out my pre-release opening video. Peace.